Just having a check around greenhouse this morning, see how things are getting on. Very slowly, and we all know that. Managed to get hold of some more cardboard for those no-dig raised beds as well. One thing I did forget to mention is when you get your cardboard, make sure it's not shiny cardboard. You just want plain cardboard, no print on it, because you don't want to be putting any ink into your compost. And then just take all tape off it if it has got any and get rid of any staples. And then you're good to go. And I've got quite a bit there. There's probably enough inside here to do 2 of those raised beds. So we're on his way. Although I'm not actually doing that today. I just came in to check these plants. These lettuce plants, dare I say, are now starting to get somewhere. They've grown so slowly. But if we have another look at those now, you can see we've got a bit of something going on there. They're now at that point where we can prick them out, start growing and sell some fresh salad. And another thing is, that container garlic that we did has all of a sudden got a spurt of growth on it. I'll just give you a quick look at it, because when we looked at it the other day, it was sticking out of the compost about 1 inch. But then again, so are these carrots in this 5-foot container. You can see that they've really put some growth on there, which is really good. And we've got a few extra that's making an effort behind. If you remember, the ones we put on the first 2 rows didn't really do anything, yet all of a sudden we've got plants coming up that tall. So that's brilliant, but we still haven't thinned these out, and it's something we definitely need to get done. But this is the garlic. Look how much that has grown over the last few days, and it's now started to split off, so it's well on its way. And every one we put in has worked. So we've got possibly 10 bulbs of garlic to come next spring. Meanwhile, those cauliflower and kales that we pricked out have grown a little bit. We've got quite a bit of yellowing on bottom leaves, but that don't matter because they're old leaves. So first thing to do with those is get rid. They're only going to cause us problems if we leave them on. So we'll just give those a little bit of a clean up. But this kale's not looking too bad now. It did look a bit rubbish when we first transplanted it, but they are trying. They've got true leaves. And we're getting a bit of something. So again, we'll leave those, see what happens. Meanwhile, these strawberry plants, they're still trying to grow strawberries. This is our other carrot container that we've already took a few carrots out of, and it just keeps all falling over. We've definitely got carrots in there, so we are going to get something, but they don't seem to be holding their own. They're perfectly spaced out, so that's not a problem. But the tops do keep flopping over. So maybe we'll take these a little bit earlier. I'm trying to save them till Christmas. So what I'll do is I'll leave those as long as possible until those tops look like they're starting to die back, and then we'll pull lot. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a decent harvest, and then what we've got spare we'll just freeze for another day. I was showing you these strawberry plants because I think they're amazing. Coming up towards middle of November, they're still flowering and trying to give us fruit. Just need to keep going around and taking away all this dead foliage. Sometimes they're quite tough to break off, but they need to go, so we'll have to get scissors on the ones that we can't quite get. But to still have flowers on at this time of year, and I noticed that we've got a really nice sized strawberry on there that's ripe. It's not fully ripe, but it's good enough to take. That'll ripen indoors in about 2 days on a windowsill, and I'd rather do that than leave it to mercy of those slugs. But for mid-November, that's brilliant, and more flowers on it still. So that's a nice little surprise on a Friday morning. Another strawberry. We'll make sure we don't forget that. What we do is we take all the fruit that we can get and we freeze it, and then we bag it all up. I think we've got about 6 big bags of mixed fruit in there. what we've been harvesting since early in the year, which is brilliant, and still offering us a little bit more on top. But I think what I'll do is I will prick out some of these lettuce seedlings today, because they have just started getting the first true leaf, and we don't want them to get too tangled in this little container. And to be fair, I don't need loads because I'm not putting any outside. Not through autumn and winter, they'll just get devastated by slugs and snails. So out of all these that's in here, I just want a few to grow on in this greenhouse, raised up on a bench, just for a little bit, a salad leaf. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. And then we'll still leave what's left in there to grow on a bit bigger. And I'm pretty sure I can get 12 out of that container quite easily. There's still going to be loads left. So getting to us last bits of compost this year. I haven't bought any more. Plus a lot of places around here stop selling compost when it gets to a certain point. But we've just got a little bit in there, which will do us for today. We can get a few more on go. I'll just use that same size tray to compress that compost down a little bit. Gets that job done all at once. And I'll top it back off and we're good to go. And thank you very much to all the people that noticed that little error that I made on his last video when we set up those raised beds to do no dig. I didn't think about cutting the grass in between, and there was one or two people that actually picked up on that and said maybe make them wide enough to get a mower in between, or as Martin said, why not put cardboard down in between, some kind of weed suppressant and maybe gravel on top. So thank you for everybody's suggestions regarding that. It would have been a bit of a problem. So at some point over weekend I'll get the mower out and we'll get those spaced accordingly. But for today, let's get some of these lettuce seedlings sorted. I'll get this compost watered first. Just make sure we've got plenty of moisture in there for these new seedlings. We'll let that settle in. And we'll get some nice deep holes made in these. Anybody that's followed the channel for quite a while knows that we always bury lettuce seedlings really deep. It makes them more stable plants when you do it like that. So now that's done, we'll have a look in here. And I was going to say we'll try and get the biggest plants, but to be fair I think they're all pretty much same size, so I'll just get a few out of this corner. We'll just dig up a clump of those I think, and then we'll separate them as we need to. We've probably got enough in that little bit for what we need today. So very carefully separating those. And we've got a nice bit of root there for a start, so we'll get that one straight in. It's like being back in spring, just starting off again. Get those nicely firmed in there, and we've got a really nice little lettuce seedling to start us off. And they are coming apart really easily. So again, poking that root down, and we'll stand them up. Push that compost away from those leaves as well. And then those leaves aren't going to be getting wet. That quick we've got two done. So we're well on our way to having a pack of 12 fresh homegrown lettuces. I'm still going to have a look, make sure we get the biggest ones out here. That has got some really good roots on it, so that one can go in. And again, same with that one, nice sized plant, plenty of roots. You only need a couple of strands of roots. These plants will do perfectly alright. I'm going to be a bit particular with these. We have got some nice little plants there, but I want to make sure I'm getting all biggest ones out of this container. That's the whole point. So I'm going to dig a couple more out. Just want to make sure we've got some that are developing new leaves. Doesn't take long to do, and if you don't mind a bit of salad through autumn and winter, it's worth doing a few, in case you change your mind at some point about not really wanting salad. We don't want to be going out and buying it, not when it's this easy to grow your own. So we've got us pack of 12 lettuces set up, and as I was saying, we'll keep those raised up, keep them away from those slugs while they get established, and hopefully we'll get some nice fresh salad. And these are a little gem in case I didn't mention it earlier. So we could grow these on into little romaine lettuces, or we could just take leaves. Maybe I'll do half and half on them and see how they get on. But for now, we'll pop those somewhere, let them get a bit of sun, and we'll see what we get in a few weeks' time. So that's not too bad already for a Friday morning. We've got loads of cardboard ready for those no-dig raised beds. That garlic is well on its way. The carrots look a lot better than they did a couple of weeks ago. And we'll just see what happens with this container. We've already took 2 or 3 carrots out there, and they were a good size and very straight. So we still know no matter what happens with the tops of these carrots, there's definitely carrots to harvest underneath. And now it's time to go back outside, since for once it's a sunny day, and see what jobs need doing out there, and just try and keep on top of that tidying as much as possible. And if you want to see what I'm doing over at weekend, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.